think you should.
So last week, the Boruto anime actually had a pretty decent episode that I kind of enjoyed last week. I thought it was a pretty good episode. I even put the title of my video saying that this episode was actually pretty okay. And obviously a week goes by and I'm anticipating it because I'm like, okay, what are they gonna do for next week's episode? Are they gonna take steps backwards and make the episode worse, or are they gonna make it better? And for better or worse, they made it a lot better. This episode was actually really good. I actually really enjoyed watching it, and that's like the first time I can actually say that about a Boruto episode. Unironically, I'm saying that unironically. I actually really did enjoy watching this episode because they gave us a new intro, which I really liked. The song choice maybe could have been better because that's the only part that I was just like kind of like about it. But overall, the new opening felt like a Naruto opening, like from part one or maybe even Shippuden. It felt like a Naruto opening, and I really liked it. I really liked it. They also gave us a new ending, which looks pretty and it's okay, but some people aren't gonna want to watch the ending and they're just gonna skip to the previews. But if you do like this, if you do like the new ending, then it's like go ahead and enjoy it. But I do like the new opening. I think it was pretty good, and overall, the whole episode itself just felt better for some reason. Like last week's I was like yesterday. It's because episode 52 came out yesterday, which is the newest episode. Last week's episode, was okay, and it felt like it was like trying to progress forward and not, hold itself back with kind of like how Boruto has kind of just been for like the past like almost what year now, and now it's like going forward and it's like almost trying to get into the nitty gritty of what it could have been, like what the Shin Uchiha arc could have been, but it wasn't, and now it's doing that with the Boruto movie retelling. And this episode was really good. It starts off with a little bit of a recap, and then White Zetsu is getting ready to attack, and then they show us the new opening that, like I said, I really enjoyed the new opening. And then they go straight into fighting. And then, like, if you saw last week's episode, you know that there's this big white Zetsu creature that has like 3 heads. It's got like, what do you call it? It's got like not talons, but it's got like these big ass claws for like hands. But from what I noticed later on in the episode, they actually are able to turn them back into like normal hands, so they're not always like that. But it has like 3 heads, and part of me was like, okay. Last week they showed that they can use like fire or fire release, and they showed that they can use lightning release and wind release. And later in the episode, they actually showed that they can use it like back to back, or one head can have each nature release, and they could all shoot it like all at once. And I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was a really cool part of the episode. So this big white Zetsu creature can use 3 different nature releases. I don't know if it still knows how to use, I don't know if it knows wood style, because from what we know, obviously, is that the white Zetsu had some of Hashirama's cells because of Yamato, but these aren't probably created from Hashirama cells. But this thing's actually still really fucking strong because it was able to give Konohamaru a decent fight. Konohamaru didn't just fucking like stomp this thing. Like later on he kind of does. Because he like hits it with a Rasengan and then it just like disappears. And then it's just kind of like, yeah, which is almost like an anticlimactic at the fight, a anticlimactic ending to the fight, and I didn't like that per se. But he didn't immediately just like destroy this thing. He didn't stomp this fucking thing to the ground just at the beginning of the episode, and they continue on with pointless bullshit. No, they continue on. They fight this thing. Boruto, he got this like gadget thing, like I think last week in the last episode. And the thing is like it's like a flash grenade. That's what it appeared to be. And then Konohamaru like cuts this fucker's thing open, the white Zetsu. It's like stomach open. It runs away and then it hides. And then they go into a particular area where it's like It's like a flower or the fruit from the tree. I forget what it's called. It's been a while since I've actually, watched Shippuden, and specifically the War Arc that, or anything revolving around Kaguya. So I don't really remember what it's called, but it's the tree that Kaguya ate the fruit from to get basically all of the chakra, right? So Konohamaru kind of explains a little bit what's going on with the White Zetsu and stuff, saying that like, yeah, these things were created by Kaguya. They're connected to Kaguya. They're really fucking strong. So, you three are only Genin, so you probably don't want to, fuck around with this thing and just assume that you're going to be able to destroy it, because later on in the episode, Konohamaru gives him a plan, right? He gives him a plan on how to fucking kill this thing. They throw a whole bunch of paper bombs when it's like protecting itself in a cave inside of a cave. I know it's really weird. They throw a whole bunch of paper bombs. Konohamaru throws a smoke bomb, and then Boruto's basically like toying around with this thing with its shadow clones, and that's supposed to tire it out. Which I don't remember like the whole like thing why that would be the case, but they come up with like this non-fail proof. This is basically this plan basically doesn't fucking fail. I'm stuttering on my words, I apologize. But this plan, this like strategy, is supposed to like always work with the Zetsu, which I find weird, but yeah. So Konohamaru is like, don't ever overestimate yourself, because these things are really strong. It fucking almost killed me, so don't overestimate yourself, because you're only Genin, you're not strong enough. And you guys are gonna need a lot more strength in order to like do anything, right? So they go and attack it. Boruto's doing his thing with the shadow clones, right? And then he's just like, oh, maybe I could prove myself if I take this thing on my own, I can do it. And so he tries to, adding in lightning release to his kunai, and he stabs the fucker, and it doesn't do anything. So he gets thrown to the fucking ground. It looks like the White Zetsu was absorbing his chakra, because he's laying there on the ground. They're trying to save him, but he's like, oh, my chakra. And I think the White Zetsu was trying to absorb his chakra, or was, right? So then basically afterwards, Konoha hits the fucker with a Rasengan. It completely disappears. Then they go into like this back part of the ruin kind of place that they're in, and they find a whole bunch of cocoons that are supposed to be making White Zetsu, but they aren't fully created, or rather they were never created like the way they were back in I guess part 1. I don't think Zetsu ever appeared in part 1, actually. I think he only appeared in Shippuden. But you remember how like the White Zetsu were like all throughout Shippuden during when Obito was like being healed by the White Zetsu, or Toby, the Toby White Zetsu, and then with Madara and stuff like that, and then the War Arc when we saw the White Zetsu, kind of like them. That's what the cocoons looked like they were trying to make, but it wasn't working. Like inside of it was like white mush. I can't really explain what it is. You have to watch the episode for yourself. But they go into like this back part where they're making like the big creatures, like how like the big White Zetsu creature from these 2 episodes were, right? So they go into it. Konohamaru uses a Rasengan for some whatever reason to kind of blast his way through it, and then it leads to a back area where it leads to like another one of the giant White Zetsu, but it's already dead, and it's actually encloaked in black flames. And if you know what the black flames are, you know that they're linked to Sasuke, because they're Amaterasu. So they go in a little bit deeper, and then they find a whole bunch of more black flames, more Amaterasu basically, right? And there was way more of these big ass fucking White Zetsu creatures, right, with like multiple heads and shit. And Sasuke already got rid of them, and that's when he basically has to go out and flat out say it to Boruto Saurada and Mitsuki, like, yeah, this is the top secret mission that Sasuke has been doing all this time as he's been gone. It was this top secret mission to where he basically travels around the world and destroys any remnants of Kaguya that still exist inside of the world. And one of them, unironically, was in this kind of like tomb ruin area. But before he can destroy all of them, one of them somehow managed to, escape and kind of just lived in this fucking tunnel for however long it was there. So the episode ends off basically with Boruto or a Naruto shadow clone being there. Boruto's like, I gotta get stronger. Da, 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 da. He says all this other fucking shit. I forget what he kind of says, but it's kind of whatever. After credit scene, and it's Sasuke. Sasuke shows up from his his Rinnegan portal, I think, just like one of his portals, right, that he uses to travel around, traverse and stuff. And he's in a snowy terrain. He's like, oh, I finally made it. And then we see Kinshiki and Momoshiki Otsutsuki. So this is the point in the Boruto movie where Sasuke is fighting Momoshiki, or rather Kinshiki and then Momoshiki, and hopefully we can see that a little bit in the next episode. I think that would be really fucking dope. But next week's episode with the previews, it's Himawari's birthday, so we're getting more into the Boruto movie retellings, and so far that's literally the most interesting thing that Boruto can even fucking do at this point, because everything else was like either okay, like kind of like or it wasn't really that great at all, right? And now we're getting into the Boruto retellings with the movie, and it looks interesting. It looks like it'll be actually like nitty gritty. It'll be like this like serious thing where it's like this is this is an Otsutsuki member from like from the from Kaguya's clan, right? So, and then like Toneri was in the fucking previews as well, so I don't know what the fuck Toneri is gonna be there doing. I think they showed like another like person like next to Momoshiki and Kinshiki. There's like a third person. I remember seeing like a third person in like the ending part of it, and I was like, who the fuck is that? I don't remember seeing him in the Boruto movie. So maybe it's like an entirely like new character or something for like the Boruto movie retellings, the arc. Whatever it is, hopefully the character adds on top of something rather than just like being there. But I guess that's basically it. That's basically the entire episode. I really liked it. It felt like a Naruto episode. It felt like a lot of part one, but also a lot of Shippuden, which depending on who you are, that might either be a good or a bad thing. I don't think it wasn't a terrible thing, because with how Boruto has been for like the past year, I think for the past year, it wasn't, a lot of it wasn't great and a lot of it wasn't, bad either. A lot of it wasn't great, a lot of it wasn't, terrible. It was kind of just like whatever, and the series felt like it wasn't really trying to progress further as, like a sequel to the Naruto series. It didn't feel like it was trying to succeed past that, and now it actually feels like it's trying to, and hopefully the Boruto retelling can do that. I really enjoyed the episode. Strongly suggest you go watch it and enjoy it, because a lot hopefully you will too. My Hero Academia and Persona 5, the animation's coming out this Saturday, so be on the lookout for that. That's going to be really exciting. That's basically it. If you missed out on my video for the season 2 review, be sure to go check that out. I'll make sure to kind of leave like a thing that you can click on in the video, so you can go check it out if you haven't already, and be sure to also go check out my other Boruto reviews if you want to. Of course, you don't have to, but it's kind of whatever. So anyways, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe for more if you haven't, and the notification to get my videos. I'll see you in the next one. Fantastic. See you guys later. Peace.